Hello everyone, welcome to another Coffee and Contemplation brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. It is May 20th. We've actually got a longer one today, a longer reflection. It's from the NA Spiritual Principle a Day. I really like this book. It's just got these longer, stretched out reflections, or a little more like there's more space for insight in them. Some of the topics can be more like advanced, like longer term recovery discussion, which I really like. But that doesn't mean you have to be in long-term recovery in order to be able to be reading it or connecting with it. So anyway, I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. If you're only listening on audio, as always, we've got a copy of the reflection in the description so you can follow along and save it on your phone. But anyway, let's get into this. The rewards of responsibility. We don't always want to work our program, but we know the rewards we get when we take responsibility for our recovery and the consequences when we do not. From Living Clean, Chapter 1, Keys to Freedom. Early recovery, especially our first go at it, can seem almost magical. For many addicts, things get so much better so quickly when we first find NA. We put some days together clean. We start feeling physically better. It's easier to pay the rent because we don't have a habit, so we gain a little stability. Those NA folks are really encouraging, and what? Is that hope I feel? Soon, the minor miracles of early recovery, like paying bills, eating actual meals, or having regular bowel movements, lose some of their charm. It dawns on us that just not using is not enough. Despite having a cool sponsor and some friends who are clean, NA activities, and a roof over our heads, we still have that gnawing feeling that something is missing. While surrounding ourselves with good people is important, recovery is not contagious. We won't catch it simply by hanging around. This is an important realization, but it's what we do with it that matters. Ignore it and know that using may start to appeal to us. Get busy and reap more of the rewards of recovery. Sooner or later, and at multiple points in our journey, each of us faces these alternatives. Stay clean but remain miserable and set ourselves up for possible relapse, or take responsibility for our recovery. And so we engage in what's before us, the work of recovery. It's a 12-step program. Why not work all 12? The rewards are many, and the most valuable among them intangible. In recovery, we become self-aware, and unlike when we were in the grips of the disease, we have the freedom to choose what to do and what we learn about ourselves. The road to spiritual wealth opens up when we accept responsibility for our recovery and all it entails. I will check in with my feelings and confide in a friend today. I will apply the spiritual principle of responsibility by identifying what's happening with me and being open to change. This reflection is from NA, a Spiritual Principle a Day. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot more meat on the bone with this one, but I think it's a cute little story. I just like how they go through these progressions from earlier to then later recovery after you've been sticking around for a couple of months or whatever it may be, and then just some of those longer term goals and perspectives that I really appreciate. Just the opening quote's got some good perspective in it that I like and I resonate with. We don't always want to work our program, but we know the rewards when we the rewards when we do, and then the consequences when we don't. And maybe sticking around a bit longer, developing a life in recovery, at least enough time to then compare life in recovery to then life in addiction, helps us see and be able to understand that. But I'm absolutely in a place now where, in general, I understand this perspective. Sometimes I'll still need that reminder. You know, if I get caught up enough in my own stuff or thinking I need to do things my way under my control, I can get caught in that too and need those reminders of working a bit more of a program and getting back to basics. But that's just a good quote to start off with there. Just that reminder of, and just the honesty of, like, we don't always want to do this. You know, again, it's an honest program. So when people are like, I am so grateful for and love recovery every day, and this is the greatest thing ever, like, it, okay, sure. I don't believe you, but all right then, you know, like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with admitting. And for me, like, even just admitting if I don't want to do it all the time, that just helps to get that feeling and that obstruction out of my head. I share it with another, and then if anything, just doing that alone, just putting a spotlight on the issue, then makes it easier for me just to be like, okay, all right, fine, let's do this. Let's go to a meeting. Let's get a new sponsee, whatever it is, you know? So I stand out. I resonate with that a lot. And these first two paragraphs where they just talk about early recovery, you may have heard of the term rose-colored glasses. I still don't fully understand that, because it's like, then if you have these glasses, then okay, then everything just looks pink. So why does that make everything better? I don't know. There's something in there I'm totally missing. I probably should have Googled that before I said it. Anyway, whatever. Here we are. So I think they're talking about that, and just how when a lot of us come into early recovery and get that little bit of clean time in and are able to start putting some days together, everything just really does seem almost magical, like it says in this paragraph, you know, and just those basic things. And I like they talk about, it's true and it's really funny. Feeling physically better, being able to eat, being able to pay rent, getting encouragement from other people, and then actually starting to feel some hope out of all of this. And we gain a little momentum, just being like, oh my God, things are starting to come together. This is actually working. This is happening, you know, or like the first time when you get asked for fellowship after a meeting and you're like, you know what? Not only can I go, but I can actually afford to buy myself food or a coffee or whatever it is. It's like, I don't need somebody to treat me this time. That's amazing. I remember that feeling, having like an extra $3. I was like, oh my God, this is great. So I resonate with that experience a lot, and I'm sure a lot of other folks do too. And then, then that bit of maybe not stagnation like it can be, or talks about after we've been doing this for a while. I love that they just mention having regular bowel movements. Oh my God, that is so funny. Oh, thank you, editors, for and whoever voted this in and whoever wrote this, because that is awesome. It's so damn funny. And also too, like the minor miracles, like, man, I don't know, paying your bills, eating properly, going to the bathroom properly, all like just like regular base function. And it talks about like paying rent too, like minor miracles or not, I don't know. I still think those are pretty big, and that's a lot of privilege, you know? So, but anyway, just putting a spotlight on that too. And then, like it says, it dawns on us that just using is not enough. And it's really easy to have that feeling where it says like something is missing. We still have that gnawing feeling that something is missing. I totally can resonate with that a lot. And even now, you know, like I've put quite a life together for myself in recovery, and I'm very blessed to have all this, and I've done all the work, and then I've had this countless support from people along the way to get here. It was definitely not all me. Even still then, my disease will want to convince me that something's missing, that I could use something more, that I need something more or else or different or whatever it may be, you know, and it's important to remember and realize where that's coming from. Because of having this disease, I don't believe we are ever cured. I don't believe we are ever recovered. We work on our recovery every single day. And so knowing I'll have this disease, this piece in my brain that's always there, it's always going to be trying to convince me of these things and change that attitude. And wherever can get in these little hints, something is missing, you need something more, something else, whatever it may be. It's obviously going to try to do that, because that's just any little thing it can do to get me back on the path of addiction, get me out of recovery, get me looking at all these other things instead. So that's just something that pops out for me when I read that, and just something to know and think about, you know? So it's just, even though we will have that thought or that feeling, it doesn't mean it's true, and it also doesn't mean it's wrong, you know? So though, like, it's wrong to have that thought or that feeling. So that's just something else to mention on that as well. And then, well, of course, what do they talk about more in this is, and this is again 12-step focused. So then they sum that up. Well, what do you do if you feel like something's missing? Cool. Go do something for somebody else. Go help somebody. Go be of service. Go give this away. Carry the message. And I got to say, that line of, if you're feeling bad about yourself, go do something for somebody else, is, that's like, that may be top 10 of like my favorite recovery quotes I've ever heard. Just that mindset is so important, and getting us out of self, out of our heads, and just getting connected with other people, get social, like just those basic things makes such a difference and helps so much to alleviate this feeling. It's like a double positive, because you get out of dwelling on this feeling of something is missing or this potential concern, and then you're also now just putting more positivity into the world. You're giving, supporting, helping, you're being useful, you're showing yourself that you're useful, which is another good reminder that we need. Just all of these things together are just such a great change, and such a great, that's what helps us get that perspective shift. Again, we can't think our way into right action. We have to act our way into right thinking. So if I want to get out of this thinking of, oh, something's missing, I don't have enough, I'm not doing enough, just get out of that crap, get out of the whatever you're doing, wherever you're sitting, and then just go be of service. So in this 12-step case, go to a meeting, go help somebody, do some service at the meeting, before or after, talk to newcomers, work with a sponsee, something like that. And then even just anything outside of that. We were talking recently about doing favors for people without them even knowing. So then perfect opportunity to go do that, right? Go help out a neighbor, mow their lawn, rake some leaves, shovel some snow, whatever it is. Just go do something else that can go and help someone else. Community center volunteering, like all these things. Just anything you can do to then help give and give back. As addicts, when we're using it in our disease, we are such leeches of society, and we just take and take and take. And again, not fully to sit and beat yourself up. That's what the disease does, and we just happen to be carrying it. So you can't entirely blame yourself for all of that, but that's how the disease works. So now in recovery, again, do the opposite of that. Recovery-oriented behavior being the opposite of addiction behavior. So now go give and give and give, and give it freely, and be of service, and do all of that. And so many of these side benefits that we were talking about are going to come with that, which is just so great, and just helps, just helps show us, so much, and ultimately of what this is all about. And you've probably heard me say this, you've heard me say a lot of this before if you've been listening to the show regularly, which is that we don't get sober for us. Sober, clean, whatever word you want, it's the same thing. We don't get sober for us. We get sober for others, and then to be able to be of service to others, and be able to contribute and give and be a part of. So that wrapping up point that they summarize with this reflection, after going through all these motions and progression and recovery, is great. And they get to that landing point, and it's this great ultimate piece of recovery, and such an important part of what we do and why we do it, and how that truly makes a difference in the lives of ourselves and in the lives of others. And there we go. I'm going to finish on that today. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that reflection. I know I really did. Please, in the comments, throw down what stands out for you. How do you feel about some of these things? Where these perspective shifts happened in you? What are things that you do to help be of service and give this away? And are just things that have really stuck for you in your recovery. So we'd love to read all those. And as always, you can get a lot more out of this podcast than just the episodes. So check out the description for all the ways that Spotlight Recovery can support you, and you can support Spotlight Recovery. Just to highlight, I do recovery coaching with people. So if you're liking hearing what I'm talking about today and feel like you want to learn how to incorporate more of this into your life, then reach out to me. That contact info is in the description as well. I'd be happy to chat and see if there's a way that I can support you in your recovery. Okay, so that's it. But for now, just thanks again for stopping by and enjoying the episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Wishing you a blessed 24 in your recovery today, where you can get out and do a little bit of service. And we'll see you again tomorrow.